So basically, as I said, I first said what is the way to identify a topic, but best way
Yeah.
is figure out what is the most interesting topic for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second thing is, second thing which is very important is that that interesting topic should be interesting to others. There should
Yes.
be a market and there should be a gap, that there is some information not available easily for everyone. So
Yeah.
what I did was I picked YAML technology, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, and as I said, I wrote a small book, around 100 plus pages book,
Yeah.
because this is something which I was able to do in 1 month, and
Yeah.
I can validate whether if I do good writing, technical writing, I will be successful or not, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to put effort if that is not creating good value for
Yes.
others.
Yes. Yes.
Because if I write a book, people should read this book also.
Yes.
And this book, yes, definitely, also it is unrealistic to expect that yes, you write first book and it will become a bestseller. That means it will have millions of readers, but
Yeah.
definitely I was able to get thousands of readers, but not immediately, slowly, gradually,
Yes.
right? Which was also sufficient, right?
Yes.
So yeah, here the way I did is, I wrote a book on YAML, and because YAML was a topic which is as popular as XML or JSON, but no content is available. So I write this book. It was successful, and there are a lot of places where you can write the books. Yes,
Okay.
basically what you need, what is a book nowadays? Distribution is also possible using, see, if you have a PDF, that's a book, right?
Yeah.
You can distribute through various places. You can upload it in some place, like it could be LinkedIn, right? Many people you would have seen, they keep sharing their eBooks. They
Yeah.
even write 20-page ebook, 50-page ebook, they share it in LinkedIn. That is also
Yeah.
popular, right? Way.
Yeah.
If you get lot of views, you will see the tracking of views, you will see the comments as well.
Yes.
So there are various ways you can do, right? But
Okay.
see, the book has some limitation. Generally, coding book, when you write,
Okay.
someone has to copy paste the content,
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
type it back in the
Yeah.
computer, execute it and validate it, right, and learn it, right?
Yeah.
So what I would recommend, the best way to write a book is, there is something called Jupyter Notebook in Python. You are aware of this Jupyter
No.
Notebooks? Okay.
No.
So it's like, or I would say another good place to write a book is GitHub, right?
Yeah.
In GitHub, you can create some markup languages,
Yeah.
markdown pages, README file for any
Yeah.
project as you have, and this
Yeah.
is a book. Right?
Yeah.
So this is how I started. So you create a project in GitHub and start documenting all
Okay.
that you are learning, or all that you are researching, and share it with others, because it's public repository,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It became popular. I saw that this was being taken up by many people, and I was getting good comments saying that this is very helpful, and I found this very useful, exactly this right amount of information which I was requiring. Some people also say that okay, yeah, we wanted more in depth, I wanted to see more advanced concepts, etc. So see, these forums are also a platform where you can get feedback and you can improve on it, right? So both way,
Yeah.
if you are getting good feedback, it is good, because you have to keep doing these things more often, right, which are being appreciated. If some
Yeah.
people say okay, this example is very good, I enjoyed doing this exercise, yes, I add more exercise like that. If someone is saying, okay, we want more in-depth information, this book is not covering what I needed, no problem. You just reply saying that yes, I'm working on this, and in the next update, I will provide this information, and you update that in the next cycle. So these ways, your book is also becoming better and better,
Okay.
right? So this is the process I do engage in. So it's a very collaborative process,
Okay. Yeah.
and with that I was able to get a book out, and it was in Book Authority the number one book of all time, right? So if you search, say, best YAML book of all time, you will see
Yeah.
my book getting listed, right?
Yeah.
See, the ratings keeps going up and down, but it is always there in the top 3 books, right? So now
Yeah.
in the Book Authority, earlier it was number 1, but yes, maybe few ratings here and there, I got uh, now number 2 position, right?
Okay. Yeah.
In the Book Authority. So this is how I realized that this is really great thing. Then I started, now I need to write in more topic, because here, see, in YAML there was lot of scope of improvising it. I can write now various other technologies which utilizes YAML,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also I felt that Java was evolving, right? At the same time, some new development also happened. So another lesson is very important. You have to be always on top of the industry trend when you are a writer, and you have to adapt and change as well. Correct?
Yeah.
So I saw that next highlight was something called Jakarta EE, right? Uh, See, there was something called Java EE, you would have been aware of.
Yeah.
It was the best way to develop any large scale application in Java.
Yes.
Until 2005, it was good, but then Spring and Hibernate came,
Yes.
and almost it lost, because no, it involved various standards which were EJBs, right? So
Yes.
session beans and entity beans and message driven beans. It has all the best practices. It
Yes.
has how to write servlets, how to
Yes.
write JSPs, right?
Yes.
JSP, I would say, is inspired by, say, HTML, right? And how to write. Later, ASP also came, but JSP was a language which was, I think, inspired from PHP, right? In PHP, you also write some tags and code like HTML.
Mhm.
So JSP was there, then JSF came, and a lot of other stuff came. So there was a
Yes.
lot of good best practices there. Entity
Yeah.
beans were there. There were message
Yeah.
driven beans, and lots of around
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
standards were there.
Yeah. At that time, even struts came popularly. Then
Right.
people some adoption of
Yes.
string.
Yes. So JSF
And
came, Java
yeah.
server faces, and struts also became popular.
Popular.
And
Yeah.
then in front end nowadays, React is always used, right?
Mm.
After, say, 2009 and 2010, people felt that JavaScript is mature enough and is fast enough also. So people
Mm.
stopped implementing applications, front end applications,
Yes.
in Java, right?
Yes.
So they are now writing no server side language, server side programming. They all write client side thin clients which are done in JavaScript, right? So
Yeah.
basically, this was long forgotten thing, but many banks, many commercial organizations, because there were very various vendors, for
Mm.
example, WebLogic, WebSphere,
Yes.
and there were various application servers. Even Oracle had
Yeah.
WebSphere, right?
Yeah. And that too, it's not a, it's a license version. It's not a
Yes, it
free of
was
cost.
not free, but
Yeah.
still it had lot of customers, lot of
Yes.
applications which were running
Yeah.
on it.
Yes.
And people were using Spring also. JBoss
Yeah.
was another server.
Yeah.
Uh, but yes, recently in around 2017, there was a change in because now everyone wants to write microservices.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
gone are
Yeah.
the days where people write uh, different kinds of application. Service oriented
Yeah.
architecture is now also
Yeah.
obsolete.
Yeah. Mostly it was like monolithic at the time.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. Monolithic and modular was there. It was
yeah.
definitely component based, but in microservices, you have completely autonomous. You need multiple servers basically, right?
Yes.
So in monolith, there is always single point of failure.
Yes.
So when you are writing code and running it in a web application server, you have a single point of failure, right? Maybe you will have some clusters, but still you have monolith. You have to deploy everything in one go, and everything is tightly coupled, because if anything crashes, the entire instance goes
Yes.
down.
Yes.
But in microservices, you have multiple servers. So there is another standard which is called MicroProfile, right?
Yes.
See, Java EE was also not good for writing microservices. Spring is also not designed to write microservices,
Yes.
because if you see, Spring also originally started, there was something called Spring Web or Spring MVC. Yes, and they
Yes.
used to focus also on writing front end applications. In Spring, a lot of people used to write front end application. So that also went back. But Spring was very easy, and it was good for writing RESTful web
Yes,
services.
yes, yes, yes. Even, yeah, so as you said, there are time leaf and those templates are there to write the front end, but it
Yes,
was not that much popular. So, yeah,
correct,
through,
correct.
through REST only, like we are this Angular and this stuff and all that, mostly
Yes,
we are using.
right. So REST was very well done with
Yes,
Spring.
yes,
But microservices is not just REST, because in
yes,
microservices you have to take care of various microservices pattern.
yes,
For example, auto scaling, right?
yes, yes,
You can't do auto scaling automatically with the Spring.
yes,
You need distributed tracing, right? So that is also difficult in Spring. You need other components, and later some add-ons were there.
yes,
But lot of things were not available in Spring also. I mean, Spring Core does not have that. So, for example, distributed tracing, then fault tolerance, then health checks, then circuit breaking, right? How to implement API gateways, how to do various auto scaling, as I said. So, a lot of other best practices want not there. So, there was a standard which was called MicroProfile standard.
okay,
This had all these standard, and it was based on Java EE
okay, okay,
and many other standards, because during that course of time there was one more thing which is very popular. This is called CDI.
okay.
CDI is something like dependency injection,
Yeah, content
right?
dependency.
Yes,
Yeah,
context and dependency injection,
context. Yeah.
which is also very popular in Spring also. The principle
Yeah,
that you
I think
have.
I think this came before Spring. I mean, like in the
Yes,
Oracle at the time. So based on this concept only, like they introduced the name only. They changed it as dependency injection instead of.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So this was also part of microprofile standard,
Okay.
and microprofile standard was a separate standard which was similar to Java EE, but it was focusing on microservices.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it became very popular, and people started adopting it because it was latest framework for implementing microservices. And then all these things renewed Java EE again. So Oracle decided that it will give away Java EE to open source, because vendors were also asking for more and more updates, and Oracle was not able to give more updates to the customers also. So a lot of customers were unhappy with Java and with Java EE. So what Oracle did, Oracle gave it to the community, and it is now being taken care by Red Hat, IBM, various other industry organizations and various groups, right? So they could not use the Java trademark because this is proprietary for Oracle holds the Java. So that's why Java EE become Jakarta EE.
Okay.
And then when it became open source, many people became interested, and Spring said that we will follow this standard Jakarta EE,
Okay.
and in the next release Spring will be compliant with the Jakarta EE APIs. And Hibernate also said we will also comply with Jakarta EE standards.
Okay.
And then Jakarta EE community also said that okay, we will also learn from MicroProfile standard, and we will also incorporate best practices, and we will focus on, rather than enterprise applications, large scale applications, now we will focus on cloud application development.
Okay.
So then I felt that yes, this is another thing which is not there in the market, right? It's again YAML, very popular.
Yeah.
This one is going to be very popular,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of future, and there has been no books since many years. If you look into Java EE books also, hardly someone wrote a book after 2005 or 2008 or 9. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So I felt that yes, let me write this book. So I wrote a book on Java EE, Jakarta EE.
Okay.
And I wrote a book on in a cookbook style.
Okay.
And this book was a 600-page book.
Okay.
Again, here I did this as a co-author because
Okay.
this was my first book.
Okay.
So I wrote it with a co-author,
Okay.
and I write a cookbook, and I went through all the 40 standards. I
Okay.
read all the Jakarta EE specifications. Took me 6 months to write this 700-page book,
Okay. Okay.
right? But yes, this time since I have written a YAML book, I
Okay.
got a publisher also,
Okay. Okay.
because earlier YAML book was self-published, right? Means,
Yeah.
as I said,
Yeah.
self-publishing is ebook. You can always self-publish,
Okay.
and best way to publish a book is GitHub,
Yeah.
right? And then I wrote this book on Jakarta EE. See,
Okay.
now writing this 700 page book is very huge project, right? I would have spent many nights, many days on this, because
Yeah.
it's not just about writing content. It is also about you have to program,
Yes.
because
Yes.
when you write a technical book, it will also contain lot of code. So
Yes.
this also had around, I would say, tens of thousands of lines of code,
Okay.
because here I have covered all the 40 standards.
Yes.
Servlets are also covered,
Okay.
JSFs are also covered, because yes, we do use React, but some scenarios are there where server side web pages are very important, and they are better than React. For example, if we have to create a admin tool,
Okay.
right? Best is to create a server side page, because with the server side page it will be very fast and efficient, right?
Yes.
So if you have to do start and stop, or you have to do some low level operations, then because it's in Java, so you have access to all the classes,
Yes.
internal classes,
Yes.
right? If you would have done it in React, then you can only interact using REST or any standard protocol, right? You have
Yes.
to communicate using JSON and XML, or yes, you can't directly call Java classes. So I covered servlets, I covered JSF, I covered JPA, Java Persistence. I
Yes.
covered,
It's an extension of Hibernate. Like
yes, yes,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So Hibernate is now complying with that,
Yes.
and CDI, etc. All other topics, all the latest topics I covered. And this was a book on Jakarta EE10 I wrote.
Okay.
But yes, before you write any book, you also need warm up, right? Because if you are playing cricket, you have to you will need a net to practice. If you are a batting or bowler, whatever, you can't directly play around with this,
Yes.
right? So the next thing what I advise is you should build a habit of writing blogs and articles.
Okay.
So as I was saying, I started writing blogs on Java, and this I wrote on a platform which is called dzone,
Okay.
right? Developer Zone, or this is a very popular site. You should visit that, and I would advise. I will highly recommend, if you are looking to read technical content. This is the
Okay.
best place to read articles on Java or any other technology. Also, it has various channels on various technologies, which could be DevOps, which could be so in D zone you will find content which is around agile. It is also covering content around data engineering, AI, ML, big data, databases. It
Okay.
also have content about IoT. It also have content on architecture, microservices, security,
Okay.
all technical topics, right?
Okay.
Coding best practices, language related content, tools, ID, testing methodologies, everything is there. So I used to write blogs. So in for blogging, there are various ways to blog. Most popular one is Medium, right? People write Medium blogs. You can write blogs in LinkedIn as well, right?
Okay. Yes.
And Medium you are aware of, right?
Sorry, what is that?
Medium.
Mm,
Medium is a site which is for blogging. So if you go to medium.com,
Medium. MEDIUM.
yes, yes, Medium,
Okay.
yes. I will give you the URL in the chat so that
Yes. Yes.
you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this one. Were you aware
Okay.
of this?
Okay. No, I never get a chance to
Ah, okay, okay.
go through this.
So yes,
First time I'm
people who are blogging, what blogging sites you are aware of?
uh, I mean, in
Hmm?
Jakarta itself, like there is in earlier days they used to uh, suggest. I forgot that name.
Okay,
So
okay.
In Jakarta books itself, they will prefer one link. So that is
Yes,
one blog like whatever questions we have, we can post and we can get. So
yes,
that
absolutely. Right?
yeah, yeah,
Right. So there
and
are various sites for doing
yes,
blogging.
yes,
You
yes,
can, nowadays people do it in LinkedIn also. But
yeah,
see, LinkedIn people visit not for reading technical content, they
yes,
go to hunt jobs, they go
yes,
to build network,
yes,
right? Communicate
yes,
with people, basically
yes, yes,
find experts, basically finds.
yes, yes,
uh, so I would recommend use some site which is specific to the topic, right?
yeah, yes,
Because that will give you good visibility. In D zone you can publish blogs, also think
Okay.
of publishing articles, because blog is something which is one page, but
Yes.
article
Yes.
is something which could be 4 or 5 page.
So that article, I mean, like publishing, how can we do? I mean, like usually, I mean, like we can create our own like 3 4 pages kind of PDF, and we
Yes,
can.
yes, right. So article definitely is little bit more extensive than blog. It's similar
Okay.
to blog, but
Okay.
it is 4 or 5 pages. Yes.
Okay.
So if you are writing a lengthy blog, that is an article.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So
Yes.
this is what you have to write. Again,
Yes.
article you can publish it in very various places, because when you have an article,
Yeah.
see, blogs people may not be interested in, but
Yeah.
articles definitely many people will be interested, because it will cover end to end entire topic.
Yes.
But blog
Yes.
is something which will cover only a subtopic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the process of writing is same. The length of the content is only different. And when you write article, this is considered that yes, this is more value addition, right? And then you can go to various sites. So for example, you can go to Oracle Developer Network and submit your article. It
Okay.
will be reviewed by the editors, and they will publish if they find it good, and if that content is unique, they will publish it,
Okay. Okay.
right? So whichever topic you are writing article, you can go to some site, there are many sites,
Okay.
and you can submit your article saying that this is my article, can you please publish?
Okay.
So there are places where they also pay for this publishing, right?
Okay.
So if your
Okay.
article is published, they pay you also.
Okay.
So then I engaged with various such sites, and one site is educative.io,
Okay.
right? This is also very popular site.
Yeah. Educative upgrade. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes, so all these yeah, see, you can go to Scalar also. Scalar also pays you if you write good articles, right? They also
Yes. Like
publish
interview
blogs, they
bit and all.
publish
Yes. Yes.
articles also. So, but yes, I went through educative. The reason
Okay.
is because when I write something on educative, I can also put the code, and they provide a virtual environment within the browser itself, where people can try out and execute your code and see the output as well,
Okay. Okay.
right? So that was the advantage, because now a lot of online editors are there. So I wrote in educative,
Okay.
and with this, when I was used to writing, I was able to write the book, and 600-700 page book I wrote, and
Okay.
that also became successful, the Jakarta e-book. But yes,
Okay.
with if you are engaging with the audience, you will get a feel that what kind of
Yes. Yes.
content people
Yes.
will like, what kind of content people will struggle to understand, because when you write something, you write from your mindset,
Yes.
but you have to understand what would be the reader's mindset, right? For
Yes.
example,
Yes.
if I'm writing a book on, say, Kubernetes, right?
Yes.
So a reader could be a developer,
Yes.
but many readers could be a SRE engineer or admin guy also.
Yes.
Many other readers could be DevOps reader also,
Yes.
right? Because, but yes, definitely I won't be working in all these roles, but I have to understand what would be their mindset, what would be their requirement, and then I have to cover them, cover my content such that everyone should be able to make sense out of it.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
So this way, no, with blogs I got that experience, and I was able to successfully write this book, and one of my co-author was a very experienced author, and he was in US. And when I wrote with him, he liked my work,
Okay.
and he appreciated my effort. And also the editors and the publishing house which I worked with, they also liked my work,
Okay.
and they also enjoyed working with me. And because yes, speed was good, quality was good, and so they gave me more contracts for writing more books, right? So
Okay.
next thing what I did was I wrote a book on MicroProfile,
Okay.
which I was saying is all about writing microservices. And
Okay.
when you write microservices, you have to also run it in containers. So it was about cloud, it was about microservices, it was about containers. So that was my second book.
Okay.
So my Jakarta ebook, as I said, was with a co-author. Working with co-author was also a good training because this I enjoyed. And then I wrote all by myself another book, which was
Okay.
on MicroProfile.
Okay.
Right? That was also successful
Okay.
because, see, if I say I want to write a book on Spring, right? In the very first time, if I say Spring is a very popular topic, so
Mm.
many authors would be interested in that.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if I go to a publisher and say that, okay, I want to write a book on this particular topic, they may not give because there is already a competition and maybe more skillful people are already available to write this book on, because that's a popular topic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So initially I was not getting this opportunity to write a book on Spring,
Okay.
but after these two books became successful,
Okay.
I also got the opportunity to write a book on Spring,
Okay.
right? So my third book is in Spring.
Okay.
Yes, and
Interesting. Yes.
this is with this Spring I wrote with a co-author again,
Okay. Okay.
because Spring is a topic which is a popular topic and has been there since many years. And right, so in these 2 years, writing so many books is very hectic, right?
Yes.
So I worked with co-author here again,
Okay.
and at the same time I also wrote a book on Postgres as well,
Okay. Okay.
right? Because so database also I covered. So this is all about my various writing, because now see, Postgres is also, I felt that this is something which is very popular and probably very mature database, and there is no good book on Postgres database,
Yeah. Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
And although there are books or although there are references how to create master slave configuration of Postgres,
Okay.
how to
Okay.
create automatic backup,
Okay.
how to take care of concurrency control, how to maintain transactions, all these details are very difficult to find out for Postgres.
Okay. Okay.
Right, there is always documentation, but the problem with documentation is it's very hard to read, because
Yes.
in documentation, if a command has 10 options, all the 10 options will be described.
Yes.
Maybe one option is only option which is used 90% of time,
Yes.
but to use that one option you have to read through all the 10 options also. So
Yes.
reading documentation is never a good experience for any developer.
Yes.
It is very time consuming and
Yes.
it's not the efficient way to learn anything.
Yes. Yes. I
But
agree.
learning from others is better, and books are one way to learn from others.
Yeah.
because no, I see, I've worked on various enterprise applications, and almost all the time I was using some database or the other. So I wrote a book on Postgres,
Okay.
a very thorough book on Postgres,
Okay.
and that is also in the publishing phase.
Okay.
Correct. So yes, see, I am just giving all these things because you may be feeling that okay, it's very hard to find topics which are less no
Yeah,
known,
the
or
competition should be,
yeah,
yeah.
where less competition is there,
Yeah.
and there is a demand, but there are
Yeah.
many such topics,
Yeah.
because if you do research you will be able to figure it out, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yeah.
the topic has to be very popular, has to be relevant for people who are struggling in day to day work, right, using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, if you can write, then definitely this will be good impactful thing. So then again, this I did, and all the book writing work which I do, I also create courses for it,
Okay.
right? Because some people prefer reading books, but nowadays many people are not reading books, they want
Yes.
video content,
Yes. Yes.
right? So I create online courses also.
Okay.
For YAML, I had a book, I had a
Okay.
online course also for
Okay.
audience who want to learn from
Okay.
videos, audios, because these are very easy. For example, maybe someone is traveling, and sometimes reading book becomes difficult, but with the earphone and with mobile in hand, you can go through online course very quickly,
Yes.
easily.
Yes. Yes.
And it's also not that reading sometimes is requiring more effort and sometimes boring, but yes, when you are listening, since
Yeah.
listening
Yeah.
you are able to
Reading.
recall
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
faster, some people prefer listening.
Yeah. Reading is mostly like even first initial few minutes we can focus it, but
Yes,
whereas in videos, yeah, you can
correct.
do
Yeah,
more.
yeah, because reading is monotonous, right? You're just going through one page after the other, so people may
Yeah.
get bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with video and audio, you get bored after long time.
Yes, and that too, like even any practical session and all, like we can do, so it will be more helpful. I
Yes,
mean, like
yes.
even
And
execution
definitely
and all.
screen
So it is,
share, and I
yeah,
can share the video of installation of any
yeah,
application,
yeah.
or
That will
execution,
make,
debugging, testing of anything
yeah,
in the video. So you
yeah,
see everything happening live,
yeah,
right? So
yes,
that's another advantage. Absolutely, very right point. The other thing is, if you have heard something or have seen something,
yeah,
you can recall it easily, because
yeah,
your multiple senses are engaged.
yeah,
When you are
yes,
reading, only your brain and eyes are engaged, not ears, right?
yes.
So that is another advantage of courses. So one more example I'll give. I also wrote a course and book on regular expressions,
Okay, okay,
because regular expression is something which is so powerful,
yes,
and
yes,
again, very less content is available. If in Java you refer books, many books will not cover regular expressions, right? So then I felt that yes, there were very less books on that, so I wrote
okay,
a book on regular expressions also.
okay,
It did not become that popular as my other books,
okay.
but yes, you sometimes have to have patience also. So I hope maybe few more editions when I'll release, it will get catch up more. Yes,
Yeah, sure.
because all
Because
these days I am was also very much focused on writing new stuff, but you have to also spend time in popularizing the existing stuff, so that I need to spend my next focus on that.
Okay.
So, so yes, that is how I kind of, right. So you start step by step process. It's all nothing, no, happens all of sudden. So you start with small articles, small blogs, go to
Yeah.
articles, get it published in multiple places, write
Yeah.
books
Yeah.
after you have written articles. From books you can write courses. You can also reach out to publishers, or nowadays when you have articles published
Okay.
and you share it in LinkedIn, you will
Okay.
get publishers also reaching out to you, right?
Okay.
Because if you are creating a good course in Udemy, or if you are creating a good book or article in any of these popular site, you are getting good visibility,
Yes.
right? People will approach you for
Yes.
various positions. They will also approach you for various writing assignments as well. You will get that assignments also. So now, and don't have to run up behind any of the publishers. Publishers are behind me with projects, any of the interesting projects which they have in mind. They will come to me and they will ask, are you interested in writing a book for it? I evaluate, and then if some match is there
Okay.
with my expertise, previous experience, I take it, right? Or otherwise I say that yes, maybe not this time, after some days, because you have to then prioritize, right, which would be most interesting. But yeah, see, my priorities little bit changed because I jumped course. No, once I was focusing on DevOps, but then I jumped to Java because some new changes, new things started happening in Java, right?
Yes. Yes.
Also, I also wrote a book on Java, core Java also.
Okay.
Now you would ask, what made you write this book? Because I searched and I saw that you feel like, okay, there are too many books, but there are millions of developers. And I searched and there were hardly, no, it was like, we feel like, okay, there would be thousands of books on Java, but not, there are not thousand book on Java. If you see with leading publishers good books, there were only maybe between 50 to 100 books on Java, and no book after Java 8. Right? If I say find out book on Java 11, you will find less than 10 in Amazon. And when I say, okay, current version of Java is Java 21, and you cannot find a book on Java 8 or Java 11, again I saw, okay, this is, there is a big gap. So
Yes.
I wrote a
Yes.
book on Java 17, and I'm kind of writing books on latest Java technologies as well.
Okay.
Right, so sometimes, some things are, so yes, you have to be aware of the current trend.
Yeah.
And definitely, if I write a book on Java 8, doesn't make sense because there are already very good books on Java 8, and it will become obsolete also very soon. But if I write a book on Java 17, now people are still reading book on Java 8.
Yeah.
So for
Java is
next
only
5 years at
introduced.
least you will
Yeah.
have the readers,
Yes. Yes.
right? When
Yes.
maybe Java 27 or 29 such versions are going on in the market, that
Yes.
time also my book will be read, because many things do remain the same, new things get added, but still a lot of things are same. But yes, if you see in Java, after Java 11, lot of things changed drastically, because in many books it would be written that yes, you can't have a method in a method declaration, no, method definition in an interface. But now
Okay.
you can create method definition, right?
Yes. As
There's a
per the Java
concept of
standard.
sealed classes,
Yeah.
lot of new things have come up and it was not covered, so I covered all these latest things in my
Okay.
book,
Okay.
right? So this is how I do writing, and this is my process of writing and getting books, which is basically look out for latest industry trend, be
Okay.
adaptive,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
plan and prioritize and work in small increments, right?
Sure.
And just keep an eye on the feedback and keep
Sure. Yeah.
incorporating feedback from the readers by writing articles and then putting learnings into bigger projects.
Sure, sure, Karan. Because like yeah, so yeah, small articles I will take topics and I will
Correct,
figure
yes.
out as much as I can like
Yes,
writing
yes.
this
Then
and all.
definitely in few
Yeah,
years you will have a lot of content which you can consolidate,
yeah,
modernize into
yeah,
a big,
yeah,
uh, what I would say, book, right? Into a book also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Understood.
Clear? Any questions?
No, Tarun, I got some clarity and the path like how can I go step by step.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. So I need to spend some time, I mean, weekly few hours on this specifically so that like, yeah,
Correct. Because see, another another funny side on the lighter note, I would say, I got into writing because when I started my career,
okay,
there were a lot of sites that when you write a blog,
yeah,
you get a t-shirt.
yeah,
Correct?
yeah,
So yes, this is also the case even now also. If you contribute to many blogging sites and all,
okay,
into various technical forums also, if you
okay,
write for, say for example, Amazon Web Service, right?
okay,
So if your articles are published, and they will sometimes also send you goodies
okay,
and t-shirts also.
okay,
So yes, with this kind of work, earlier when I used to blog, I used to get lots of t-shirts.
okay,
So my cupboard was full of, t-shirts, and mostly all the t-shirts were black and with similar kind of
yeah,
written
logos,
text,
logos,
right? Maybe
yeah,
Oracle
yeah,
written, or some it is SAP written and all. So once my
okay,
mother came and saw my cupboard, and she was surprised. Oh, why you are buying same kind of t-shirts, right?
okay,
At least buy different styles. I said no, I
okay,
don't buy these. I get it for free. Correct. So
yeah,
also when I was, still is happening to me,
okay,
when your article is the most read article,
okay,
you also get some good awards, right?
okay,
So you know I won iPhones,
okay,
right? Multiple iPhones from very beginning, when iPhone was launched, very. So you get lot of gadgets also. So I've won
okay,
various gadgets, which could be like mobile batteries, this backup batteries and power banks,
okay,
hard drives and cameras and software also. So once also it happened that at Adobe
okay,
I participated in a contest,
okay,
and the first prize was worth 50,000 rupees,
okay,
second prize was worth 30,000 rupees,
okay,
and third prize was 10,000 and all. So I won the first prize,
okay,
and no, they announced, okay, first prize was maybe some speaker and all, Bose speaker, something was there. Third prize for
okay,
something around 10 12,000 or what, something around lesser value.
okay,
Then second prize was a camcorder, right? Video camera, digital video camera. That was
okay,
30,000 rupees.
okay,
And first prize was the most expensive one, which was a Photoshop license. Right? So I felt, oh no, why I got the first prize? I should have got second or third prize because I
Yeah.
got,
Yes.
yes, all these,
Yes.
and Photoshop license, although it was very costly, but yes, uh, it was nothing which I can show off to others, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, some these things are there, but yes, always some these could be one some motivations that you can win by writing also lot of prizes, awards,
Okay.
which you can also showcase to others.
Yeah, these things actually it will give more confidence to us. I mean, like if we
Yes.
participate
Ye-
these things and all. So in
yes.
the market, like even if it is a good or bad, so if we are getting some feedbacks and all, like we ourselves, like we can justify ourselves, and we
Yes.
can correct it ourselves.
Correct.
So
Correct.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
whether it's wrong, correct or wrong, so have to start this. So that's what like I thought, and I felt like before doing these things and all, I just thought of discussing with you like the approaches and that, so it will be easy.